Hi, ladies. How are you? I wanted to create a live video today on not only Facebook, but on YouTube. And so I just wanted to, this is kind of like a test run to see how it's coming out. And on Facebook, my face looks really tiny, but here on YouTube, I can see more of my body. So I wanted to say hi to the ladies coming on the call. And then today I want to talk about how to meet men in real life because online dating isn't the only option. And so I hope the lighting is okay on the Facebook one, but I know it's nice and bright on my YouTube. Hi, ladies that are coming on YouTube. Welcome. So nice to have you here. Okay. So online dating is not the only place to meet men in real life. There are so many men, especially this time of year, that are out and about. In fact, I think it is easier to meet men this time of year that are out and about. In fact, I think it is easier to meet men in real life in the summer because it's so warm and so many more people are outside doing things like hanging out in coffee shops and hanging out at the beach or going on hikes or riding their bikes or just getting outdoors, spending a lot of time at the malls. I mean, the malls has become a really big social place to hang out. I know here in California, we have beautiful malls and they have outdoor seating, outdoor lighting, a lot of restaurants, and especially after work, happy hour time is when they're crawling with men. And the reason why I know this is because I recently went out to happy hour after work at the mall where they have a restaurant called the Winery. And lo and behold, all of the businesses around that, the real estate and just a lot of tech and just the medical centers are everywhere they're nearby this mall. And so I noticed that it was crawling with men. There were so many men and they were all, the weather was so nice. So I really want to encourage you to get outside this summer. We still have great weather and really, make a commitment to meet men in real life. So I'm going to give you some tips on how you can do that. And so the most important thing that you need to do is to create a social calendar because it's really easy to say yes to things and make all these commitments and then forget, wow, do I really have time to date? Or even online, that takes a time commitment. So if you don't know what's coming down the pipe in terms of your calendar, you're going to end up having very little time to date men in real life. And so what that looks like is just getting out a calendar through now to the end of the year. I really recommend doing this. It really helps. I know it sounds something super simplistic, but it helps. And so I want you to go ahead and make a list of all the things you already have to do. Maybe you have a trip. Maybe you have a family gathering. Maybe you have a birthday party. Maybe you have a shower you have to go to. So you already have commitments that require you to do your hair and makeup. You're going to have to spend time like this weekend, next weekend. I'm going to a wedding. I'm so excited. I'm going to a wedding, and that's going to take the whole weekend, even though it's just one day. I have to get up, do the hair, makeup, and nails, do the dress. We have to drive a couple of hours to the wedding, and we have to get a hotel room. Then we're going to the wedding. Then the next day, we're going to be coming back. So it's really the whole weekend. And so if you have a wedding or a shower or a birthday party, it's going to take your whole weekend. And that's why you have to plan ahead. And so creating a social calendar really is a good idea. And yay, I'm so happy I see so many people on YouTube. I'm so happy to see you guys. Thank you for being here. And so another thing that you can do will help you to meet men in real life is to check out the events that your friends are attending on Facebook. And so basically Facebook is pretty cool. They've got people create events that you can go to, like, hey, I'm having this event in downtown San Diego. I can go and look under events in San Diego and I can find a networking event. I can find meetup groups. I can find all kinds of events. In fact, I just checked my email and on the 23rd of August, there's a networking event that they've invited me to. Pause for a drink. And I think I'm going to go. I told you there's going to be over 100 people there networking, and I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. Is that what you say? No, I'm going to walk my walk. And so I know it's hard to get out there, even when you're married. Sometimes you feel a little, clammed up when you meet new people. So I'm going to go ahead and go to this network event on August 23rd, and I'm going to let you know how it goes. So Networking events are great ways to meet guys too. I know it's a business event, but hey, everybody's working. You can get there. You can use my classics, the phrase, which is, how's your day going so far? That's all you have to say when you're out in real life to a man. That's it. That's the conversation opener. How's your day going so far? And they're going to respond to you, and they're going to tell you how their day's going. And you're not asking them to get married. You're not telling them you're single. You're just opening a dialogue. And so make sure you check out these Facebook events and see what's happening in your community. And then also look and see what other things are popping up. I had recently had a client tell me, I don't know if this is happening here in San Diego, but it's happening on the East Coast. There's a bunch of microbreweries that are there. They call them pop-up microbreweries. And so they have like 4 or 5 of them popping up till the end of the summer. And that's pretty cool, right? So look up pop-up breweries, microbreweries. Maybe there's one happening in your area. There's going to be a lot of men and women that go to those because they're fun. They're outdoors, they're spontaneous. And even if you don't drink, you don't have to drink to go to these things. You can go and have a soda. I mean, I love my sparkling water, And so you can just go and have it and just go to be social. The whole point of going out and doing these things and wanting to meet a man in real life is because you want it to be more organic, right? But you have to leave your house in order to do that. And it takes a lot of effort, just like dating does. You have to do your hair, your makeup, and you have to put yourself out there. When you're out in public, you have to talk to men. And then I want to give you a little tip that I know that works because I've used it before on how to talk to men in social settings like that when there's a lot of men or women around. What I want you to do is go with a friend. It's really hard to go to an event like that by yourself. It is. So try to get a friend to go with you or somebody from work and let them know that you are going to be talking to men and that you'd like their support. You don't have to give them any more details. They don't have to do anything. Just hang out by you. And so here's a great thing that works, and it really does work. So if you go with a friend and you're in a pop-up microbrewery, you're in a bar, you're in a networking event, you're in a convention center, wherever you are in the room, and you look over and you see a group of guys next to you. Maybe there are 4 or 5 men. Don't be intimidated by that because they're over there thinking if you're approachable. So all you have to do is both of you together turn to the men and go, excuse me, is that a good drink? That looks really good. Or what convention are you with? Or are you guys locals? Or whatever. Ask them one question. They'll turn around. They'll look at you. They'll answer your question. They'll recommend a beer. They'll tell you where they're from. They'll tell you what convention they're in. And then, this is key. Then you go, thanks, that's great. Then you turn back to your friend and you keep talking to her. You don't inject yourself into their conversation after that. It's a strategy. So what happens is you turn back to your friend and you and her start dialoguing. Then one of those men, if they're interested in you, will approach you because you've just made yourself available by being friendly. And so if they come over to you, then there's something that can develop from that. So that's what I did. Me and my friend were skiing one time. There's a bunch of men in a restaurant bar. We were waiting for a table. We were in the bar. There was a bunch of men standing. We turned and asked them where they were from, if they were skiing or snowboarding. They told us the answer. Then we turned back to each other. Lo and behold, 2 of them came over and started talking to us. So this really works. This is your way to insert yourself, but do a takeaway, which allows you to see if any of them is interested in you or your friend. So I hope that helps because it really does work. And the next one is the next tip I want to give you is that you always want to go to parties. If you're invited to a party and you're like, oh, I don't really feel like it, well, you have to feel like it. You have to go because how many parties do you get invited to? Or host your own party, host your own barbecue. Invite somebody and tell them they can come, but they have to bring somebody else. So have a barbecue and it'll be fun because maybe married people show up, maybe single people, have a mix of people, and then make it a potluck. Make everybody bring something, one thing, and then you don't have to do all the cooking. Parties are really fun. House parties are really fun in the summer. So I really recommend that you do that. Potlucks, that's right. And so make your own party if you haven't been invited to any parties. So just do one this year and make it your big summer splash or whatever you want to call it. And they have that free online invitation program. I can't remember what it's called, but you guys can Google it. You can use this invitation platform to send invitations, really fun ones, out to everybody that you know. And so make sure that you do that, because it's so simple. And put some chips and dip out. I mean, and have a good time. So meet some new people. Through those conversations, you might discover somebody's single, somebody just broke up, and you might end up connecting with somebody. Make a new girlfriend. I mean, that's great. Making new women friends is hard also in real life, because we're all so busy and we all have our group, but we're always looking for empowered women that are on the path, especially single women that support you and are not going to compete with you, that will collaborate with you. You really need a good wing woman that doesn't compete with you, that's collaborating with you. So the next tip I want to give you is to volunteer your time. I've done this. All of these things that I'm recommending, I've done. So I volunteered my time by volunteering at the La Jolla Historical Society. And what I did is I did tours on Sundays around La Jolla, and I also worked in their little office answering questions that people came in. So working in something like that, you get to meet a lot of people that come through there, and it helps you to practice your social skills, get out of your comfort zone. And another thing to do is volunteer. They always need volunteers for festivals, art shows, car shows, movie premieres. Movie premieres are a great way to meet other women and that know who the single men are. And so if you go to the movie theaters and they feature early bird premieres, especially for like senior groups, then because a lot of people that are in their senior years are going to those movie premieres, and they always have women ushers or volunteers, and those women know all the men that are single, because they're if they're married, the married women can help you. So make sure you ask them, send any single guys my way, and they will. Believe me, women really do support women, especially the older women that are in their wisdom years. They know what it is, and they know how to help you. So make sure you turn to your community, and right, wealthy men hang out there. True. So the big charity events, especially for the private schools, I also was a part of chairing one when my children were younger. And so a lot of the people that support the private schools come to the charity events to donate. And so, yes, it is a good place to meet men that are maybe financially successful. And so don't be afraid to call the school and say, you don't have any children in the school, but you have some extra time and you would like to volunteer for the next upcoming charity event, charity ball, if they would put you on the volunteer list. And they will. There are so many charity events that are going on. Great idea. That's such a great idea. 5K races, another good one coming from YouTube. Yay. You're right. All those people that stand around that hand you water or sign you up, those are all volunteers. So get involved in your community. If you're athletic, get involved in the athletics. If you're into music, look for music events that you can volunteer at. You're into the movies, get into the movie things, art. There's art museums. There is no reason why you can't meet a man in real life. And the only thing that would stop you is if you don't leave your house. And now, as you know, I spent like years, I think 3 years on my sofa, staring out the window, wondering why I was single. And then one day, of course, it dawned on me, like, I'm the common denominator in this situation. I don't leave the house much. It's probably me. And I remember feeling like, I don't want to get out of my comfort zone. I don't want to have to do that. What I first started doing was riding my bike down to the local coffee shop. That's another great way to meet men in real life. The coffee shop here in San Diego, there's tons of coffee shop. Everybody's into coffee now. Even if you don't drink coffee, go get a tea, go get a water. Go to a coffee shop, go to Starbucks, and go there at different times of the day so you see who's there when, and then frequent it and be a regular. Sit there and read your book for like 30 minutes. That is a great place to meet men. It's a great place to practice how's your day going? And other men go there for that reason. Now, my husband goes there on his way to work. So he's a professional, and there's other professional men dressed dapper, like my husband likes to dress in suits. If you like that, if that's the way you like to roll, if that's your jam, make sure you check that out. because he goes there every week, Monday through Friday. So if you're into that professional man, he's your ideal, then you need to be at Starbucks on a consistent basis so that you can bump into him and ask him, how's your day going so far? He might say, well, it just started. Say, well, you're off to a good start if you're at Starbucks. I mean, use wit. Remember, use wit. Use your sense of humor. It always helps. So the next one is, this is a hard one, agree to be set up. Now, I do have a little list here that I'm reading from because I put something together before I got on the call, and I wanted to make sure that I had some good suggestions for you. And I'm actually willing to share that with you, and trying to figure out how to share it with you. I'm going to come up with a way to share the best ways to meet men in real life, this list with you. And so agree to be set up. I mean, sometimes blind dates can be really awkward. But here's the thing, you need to get out, you need to practice dating, you need to practice your skill set, you need to feel like, that you can get a date if you're not getting dates. So if you're being set up, if he's a decent guy, say yes, go and be curious, be interested, not interesting, and just show up. Don't attach to an outcome and just look forward to, if he's going to take you to dinner, you have a lovely dinner with a new person, a human being that you've never met, and just, have a good time. You might hit it off, you might not, but don't worry about that part. Just long as you get out of the house. So I already mentioned become a regular somewhere, and I think there's so much value in this. Now, I think steakhouses have a lot of men in them. Well, I don't think I know. Men like to go to steakhouses after dinner for happy hour on their way home. They will stop and have a drink with their colleagues. And steakhouses is a pretty typical place, but you need to find the place in your community that has a quality caliber of men that you resonate with so that you can become a regular. No, it doesn't mean you're a barfly. I've checked with my husband on this. He said that when him and his colleague go out after work and he's on his way home to see me, they're both married, they notice single women at the bar and they don't think that that it means anything. Now from 4 to 8:30 or 9, you're good to go. You're a lady, you're not doing anything wrong, you're impeccable. Anything over 9, you're kind of getting into the late or after dinner crowd. So I'd recommend staying in happy hour times so that you aren't perceived as a barfly. Okay. And you won't be. And it's okay to talk to men at the bar, married or single. You're a human being. They're human beings. You're just being friendly. My husband talks to tons of women, colleagues, people out and about. He's a friendly person. And there's nothing wrong with it. I'm secure in that. I don't want him to lose freedom because he's married. It's like I talk to men. If we're out, if I'm interacting, if they see me, I talk to them in the elevator here in the building that I work in. There's tons of married men and we're friendly because we're human beings. So be friendly. Of course, you have to draw the line. There has to be a boundary there. And so if a married man ever hits on you, you can just say, well, thank you. I'm flattered, but I'm happily married. And that's what you say, even if you have a wedding ring on. Sometimes they do that. And so you say, nice try, but I'm married and I'm happily married and, good luck. And don't be so offended. I mean, yeah, it's not appropriate. It isn't, but take it with a grain of salt. And so I'm going to do a couple more. So, and then I'll take some questions. Never skip a happy hour. I mean, if you work in a building or a place where there's a group of people that go to happy hour, I really recommend that you become a part of that clan because it's great to have those numbers there, the people around you, so you don't have to go at it alone. And it's fun because you can strike up conversations with people around you, the men around you, but you have kind of a safety net there. And so, also commit to those meetup groups. I mean, here we are talking about meeting men in real life, and women complain about online dating that they don't meet men. And so if you're really unhappy with online dating, then you need to get out of the house. And it takes a lot of energy to put your hair and makeup on, pick out your clothes, go sit at a bar, whether it's in happy hour with your friends or by yourself. That's why I love online dating. You can just sit there in your pajamas and talk to men. However, there is amazing men out right now in San Diego. It's crawling with people. There's people everywhere. There's a lot of men here and good-looking men. And so this is a great time. Summer is a great time to get out of the house and meet men in real life. Okay, there's another couple of groups you can join, your local Rotary Club or your Chamber of Commerce. before I got married again when I was single in Hawaii. Hawaii is a very small pool, right? You can imagine living on an island. So I joined the Chamber of Commerce on Maui, and they had after business hours functions, and I always went to them. They were fun. I got to know everybody that was a part of the after business hours. They became my friends, and we just we were in our business clothes. We'd meet and we'd chat, have one drink, and then we'd leave. Somebody would sponsor it, but it was a great way to break into some situations that you maybe don't know anybody. And so also the Rotary Club, that's filled with men. I think Rotary Club is mostly men. If that floats your boat and rings your bell, you got to get down there and join your Rotary Club. You have to do whatever it takes so your soulmate can find you. Okay, he has to find you, and he's not going to find you at home. So get out of your comfort zone. And once you start to become more social, you're going to be comfortable. Remember, your comfort zone grows when you step out of it because it expands. So at the beginning, it's going to feel really uncomfortable because you're going to go from discomfort. You're going to go from comfort, in your comfort zone at home, and then you're going to stretch to go out to discomfort, but you're going to go back to comfort, only your zone's going to have grown. You're going to know people. You're going to know more people. The gym's also a great place, but I know you guys already knew that. And then last thing I want to do in closing is I want you to examine why you don't like online dating. If you haven't had a success at online dating, then I will just say to you that what you're doing isn't working and you need to try something else. And so I went online dating in the beginning before I went back on and met Michael. And I didn't meet quality men. And I made a lot of mistakes. It's embarrassing, some of the things I did. And should I tell you one of my embarrassing things that I did? Let me try to think of, there's so many. Well, I canceled a date right before I left the house because I was too triggered. So I texted him and canceled him, which was horrible, but I just couldn't do it. And another thing, that I went out with this guy who said he was 6 feet tall, who was like 5 feet tall. And I was as tall as him. And he had taken his picture of him sitting in a chair where he had put the camera down by his feet. And it had this long picture, and he was attractive and I know what to do. And I think I didn't say the right thing. So I put my foot in my mouth there. And so I've made those mistakes too, but I learned through those mistakes, and that's what you have to do. You have to put yourself out there so that you can learn through your mistakes. And then what I ended up doing was going offline, learning a few things, a lot, and then getting my profile redone. So if your profile isn't working online, you need to look at why it's triggering you. Is your pictures not working? They're not connecting to a man. Maybe your friends say they're great, but men see women different than women do. So you want to make sure you're looking at those pictures through a man's eyes. Maybe ask one of your guy friends to check them out. And get new photos taken frequently, once a year at least. Add selfies. I'm a big fan of selfies. I think selfies are really fun. Take selfies of you in the surroundings where you're doing things that a man can ask you a question about. Maybe you're at a park. Pose by the park sign, pose by the beach sign, pose by a favorite street sign that you like. Maybe it's Peach Street, and you used to live on Peach Street and you like peaches. I don't know, but I used to live on Peach Street, and that's where I got that. But there's all kinds of things that you can be creative. If you like fresh pressed juice, go to Juice Crafters and take a picture of yourself in front of it and be like, who likes juice? Are you with me? I mean, little silly things like that go a long way of letting somebody get to know you and your personality. Hi, Pam. And so, hi, Jane. And so make sure that you get out there this summer while the weather's beautiful. If you're watching this and you're in the part of the world where the weather is nice, and interact with men and ask them, how's your day going? My client's living her happily ever after right now, after meeting her man in the baggage check line at the airport, leaving vacation in another country. And I'm not giving specifics because I want to protect her privacy, but this is a real story. She turned around and said, how's your day going? And he's like, it's good. How's yours going? And yours going? And then they were talking. They went and had coffee. They were both flying to the same airport for an overlay on different aircrafts. They ended up meeting for dinner. The rest is history. It happened like that. It really can happen for you. What I don't want you to do is give up hope, because You can't fail unless you give up. And I know that might feel really discouraging or just sound like lip service if you've been online for years. But you're getting better at dating, and you're getting better at everything by practicing and by putting yourself out there. And I know you're becoming a better woman, a wiser woman, a more emotionally mature woman. Don't forget that. Don't forget to give yourself credit for all that you are learning, because you're growing and expanding. And every time you grow and expand, you raise the bar for yourself, and the higher caliber men can come in. And certainly what you want to do is subscribe to my page if you're not already subscribed on YouTube, and like my page on Facebook, because what happens is you'll receive notifications when I go live, and I'm going to be doing more live videos for all of you. I'm going to really amp it up. I'm doing 3 a week right now. I'm going to try to go up to 5 a week, because I'm going to be creating a live show where I can cover relationship topics. If you're in a relationship, I really want to support the women that get into relationships. And I really want to support the women that are struggling to get into relationships. So I want to create more content for you. And if you're wanting more support than the videos offer, I want to invite you to join my Bridge to Love community. In that community, you're going to receive a bunch of content-rich trainings, home study course, and a lot of the trainings, the way I talk, how I even show up in the world. I'm teaching you how to do that in that group. And the best thing about it is I have my love coaches in our Facebook secret group, where you can connect with them 24/7 and ask questions like, what do I do now? What do I do now? What do I do now? They can hold your hand and guide you through the process. And I can't tell you how invaluable that is when you're stuck and you don't know what to do, or what to text them back, or what to say, or you need some encouragement. These women are not judgmental, and they're very loving and kind, and they're going to support you on your journey. And I'm hosting a call every month in there, and I'm taking live questions, and we really can connect in a more intimate way. So look at that. I'll drop the link in the box below. Look at my Bridge to Love Club, and I would love to have you a part of my community. And I want to thank you, ladies, for being here. You were just telling a friend, I'm ready to stay home and focus on my online business. I want to share something with you about that, about being really busy. I get it. I was so busy when I was dating Michael. I was exhausted. I'm not going to lie. I was juggling. It is hard to work full time and raise a child and try to date, but it's not impossible. I was taking naps whenever I could. I was really tired during that phase, but I knew it was just a temporary situation. I knew that eventually I would be able to flip that scenario to where I wasn't dating anymore. That took up a lot of my time and energy. So I just want to encourage you. Yes, it's going to take more time and energy, but love is at the end of it. And I know that's a cliche, but it's so great to wake up to your soulmate, to have him in your life, to make plans, somebody to care about you, to love you, so you can get off this dating roller coaster. It really is. And if you're still single, ask yourself, where are the areas that you need to grow in? What are the things that keep tripping you up with men? I can help you with that in my Bridge to Love, and definitely by watching my videos. So really do some soul searching and asking yourself some really honest questions. Thank you, Lynn. About what's really going on. You need to get to the thing behind the thing behind the thing that's causing you to sabotage your dating efforts. Because if you're out there and you're dating, you should be eventually getting into a relationship. And it's not about looks, it's about how you're showing up. Because I've talked to many men, and my husband included, that the woman that men want a happy, content woman. So become what you seek. You're looking for a certain quality in a man, then you need to become that so you're a match to him. And so let me answer this question, a great question. What does higher caliber men look for? Any tips on standing out? Yeah, I'm happy to answer that question. In fact, that's a great question. Higher caliber men, what that means to me is a man that has high standards in terms of how he presents himself in life, how people perceive him. Maybe he's a very successful businessman. Maybe he's worked really hard to accumulate a lot of wealth, a lot of assets. And again, I'm not coming from a materialistic place. I'm coming from reality. A man that's worked really hard to get where he is in life definitely wants a woman who appreciates his hard efforts, who respects him, who is on the same level in terms of emotional maturity, who knows how to conduct herself in public situations, is someone that he could introduce to his family. So this man is going to be a man that you just there's different types of these high caliber men. Some of them are really conservative. Some of them are really outgoing and out there, and they're creative, and maybe they have a very big point of view in terms of politics and these kind of things. So there's all kinds of different high caliber men. It really comes down to what it is that you want. What is going to make you happy? So you start there. I was really clear on what I wanted and what was going to make me happy. And then I looked for a man that would be a match to me. And so the kind of lifestyle that I wanted to live was important to me. And I will say this is value is a perception that you have to create about yourself. And so I came from a really simple background. I wasn't born into money, and I was born into poverty. Okay, I didn't have any money, and I had to climb my way out of that. And so you can say, well, why would a man that's really successful be interested in my background? And in fact, I remember Michael saying to me, are you from a good family? And I was like, well, what do you mean? Define what a good family is, because we're all over the place, and I don't feel bad about that. And I'm not going to apologize for my family. I can't control who the family I'm born into. I love my family; they're great, but I'm a little bit from the school of hard knocks. But here's the thing: my value does not come from money. It doesn't come from my looks. It doesn't come from things I've done, my achievements. It comes from within. It comes from how I feel about myself, about my self-love and my self-worth. And knowing my value is that it's my birthright to have a healthy relationship. It's my birthright. We're entitled to it. We all are. We get to have these things, especially in America, in this amazing country where we have freedom. We are entitled to that. And so I worked really hard to become high quality woman. So as you can imagine, coming out of this, an economically challenging childhood, I was very abrasive. I was really rough around the edges. I didn't have the skill set that I have now. I was very raw and I was very hard. But I worked really hard to change those things and to find my value from within. And now when I did that, I knew that I was worthy. I knew that I was entitled to have any lifestyle I wanted. It didn't make me materialistic. It made me just smart, because I wanted it all and I deserve it all. And so do you, every single one of you. And I stand on that. And I know a lot of times when I say these things, I get all these comments from men saying, oh, you're a gold digger and you're that. Well, you know what? Get off my page, buddy, because it's not about being a gold digger. It's about wanting the best in life and knowing you deserve it. Because you know what? Go for the gold, ladies. You've heard me say that. Why would you want to settle for a bronze when you can have a gold medal? So just find your worth. It's a perception that you need to project out to men. And if you're not feeling worthy, it's because something that's happened to you. You haven't healed some incident, some childhood wound. Somebody told you something that isn't true, because you are love. Inherently, you are love. Fear is what we learn through society, but love is what we are. I mean, look at babies. They come in. Is there anything wrong with a baby? They're perfect, beautiful. That's how you were when you were born. And you still are that way. You just need to peel back all those layers that have made you think or believe that you are not that angel, because you are an angel. And you need to just get back to knowing who you really are. And that's what I teach. That's what I talk about all the time. And I can talk about it with authenticity because I've lived it. And I know what it is to feel like you don't mean anything. You don't matter. You're not good enough, because I felt like that for most of my life. And because I was born into poverty, I felt that I wasn't good enough, and I felt less than so much. And it was such a big part of who I thought I was, my identity. And so I worked really hard to change that. But I did all these things externally to try to change it. The thing is that internally is where you need to work. And so I hope that was helpful. I got all off on a tangent, I know, because I do that. What did he respond when you told him about your family? Well, I did things with humor. Okay, so when you're asked a question that's really challenging, a little bit challenging, maybe a little bit triggering, you have to come from genuine curiosity. Genuine sense of humor. You have to have a sense of humor about it. And so the reason why it didn't trigger me is because I've made my peace with it. Because it doesn't, I'm not my past. I'm not my money. I'm not an object. Okay. I'm a human being. I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. And so when he asked me that, it was kind of a test, and I was like, well, my family is amazing. I love them all. They live in different states. We all, have different opinions about things. Some of my family is really opinionated, in fact, but they're wonderful people. What about you? That's what I said. Because I'm not going to measure myself by anybody, by him, by anybody. And that's what comparison does. It lowers your value when you compare yourself to anybody else. So just own it. Nobody can hurt you if you own, you own it. Like, why I share all of these intimate details with all of you, it's because nobody can come and say, oh, you did this. I'm like, yeah, guilty. I did it. And so what are you going to do about it? I know I did it, and I talk about it. So make peace with that. You're not your family. You're not your bank account. You're not your car. You're not a car. You're more than that. You're this amazing, beautiful, authentic woman has so much to offer a man. That's who you are. And if he doesn't know that, then find somebody who does. As long as you know it, then he will know it. Okay. And I knew it. And so Michael, he bought the whole package, hook, line, and sinker. And we're really happy, by the way. And he's met my family. And they're great. They're different than his family, but that's what makes the world go around. We're all unique, and we all have unique qualities, and we all don't have to be the same. In fact, who wants to be around a bunch of people that are the same? You want to become an individual. That's what I'm teaching you here, is to become an individual. You've been trained away from your individuality by society, by conditioning. I want you to peel back those layers and become your unique self. That's what's going to make you the most attractive. And so, hi, I'm glad it's your first time. Subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my episodes. Okay, ladies, I know this has been a rant, and I'm going to answer one question from Facebook here. Do you think I'm being too picky because I will not date a guy with a dog that stays in the house? Well, that's tough. So, yeah, I do think you're being picky, but hey, if there's a challenge about that, then it's okay to be picky, because you have to live with that. So if you can't live with a dog that lives indoors, then it's more like a deal breaker than less than being picky. I used to have dogs that lived inside, and then I threw them all outside. I was like, get out. So I love dogs, and I love cats, and I love animals, but we all have certain levels of tolerance in different periods of our life. So what I can say for you, Linda, is maybe it's a deal breaker for you, not about being picky. That way you're not judging yourself. And so, everybody has different feelings about animals, and I'm not going to say anyone's good, bad, wrong, or right. It's just what you want. And right now I don't have any pets. I had pets, and I had a lot of pets. Oh my gosh, I had cats and dogs and lizards and chameleons and birds and fish and worms, and oh my gosh, I had tadpoles that hatched little frogs all over my house. I've done it all. I've had horses, and still have horses. But now what I love is one orchid plant. I love the fact that the only person I have to take care of is me and my husband, and my orchid plant. So, it's just different periods of your life. We want different things. Just give yourself permission to want what you want, and expect that you will get it. And make that a deal breaker if you don't want dogs in the house. Doesn't mean you're not a dog lover. It's just you don't want them in the house. So just own it. The more clear you are about what you want, the faster you're going to get it. It's when we're wishy-washy, is when we water down what we want, that confuses men, and that then also send a mixed signal to the universe, and the universe hears nothing. So know what your deal breakers are, and stick to them. Weed out the men that don't love dogs. If they don't love dogs and you love dogs, then hey, he's not for you, because he doesn't love dogs. It's just, you're that clear. And so find out right up front what your deal breakers are, and make sure that you run those by your dates, so that you don't get into a relationship with a man who has a baby when your kids are in college. That's not going to work for you, because guess what? You want to be the baby. That's why. Okay, ladies, having a huge... Okay, I'm gonna sign off. I'm just sending you all lots of love. Thank you for being here. Facebook ladies, I love you. And my YouTube ladies, I love you. And I'm so grateful for you, tuning into my channel and watching my videos. Share it with your friends because I know there's a lot of women out there that need this kind of support that I'm offering. Okay, lots of love to you. Bye.